Continuamos con el verbo to be en tiempo pasado. Ahora lo veremos con verbos comunes terminados en ing.
Years ago, when I was being interviewed by you, at that time, she must have been about 6 months old, Katie, our youngest.
This morning, when I was being a crazy maniac with the woman at the front desk,
when he was at the Library of Congress, when I was sort of being trained on how to do all of this stuff, he said,
it used to be when I was being trained and I was sort of
questions I got at the hospital when I was being treated for bipolar disorder.
To do, and even when I was being interviewed, they asked me, well, are you how long are you?
And I also
my plan. I would go back to time to when I was being conceived.
For me, when I was being, quote, too sensitive, it was actually
demeaned and simplified. And so when I was being trained, it was a huge, big thing. You should.
When I was being interviewed in Buenos Aires to a paper.
Yet I realized in the moment when I was having this wonderful run along the main
evidence to do the same thing. It's funny, I was scouring the internet one night when I was having a hard time sleeping, and
God showed me when I was having to go, because it scared me to death. I said, I know what success does to.
A lot of these took root when I was having a really hard time financially.
When I was having lunch with you guys, people kept mentioning Baltimore has terrible public transit. I agree.
Consent. I have a friend who, a while back when I was having a depressive episode, reached out and said, hey.
And when I was having a conversation with my mom about it, she said, here's the thing.
Then when I was having a nap, I was woken up by a
lower back muscles. I feel it in my shoulder blades when I was having to do some of those more like.
When I was having issues with my vision, right? And ironically, I'm not wearing my glasses right now, but.
I was doing a little bit of research, absolutely stunning. And when I was doing a little bit of research, I found out.
This was when I was doing hospital-based work.
I mean, I was scared when I was doing the play Fool for Love that.
Initially when I was doing the teacher training program.
Matters. When I was doing my dissertation,
Monstrous as you may think, because when I was doing research on my first book, I had.
Okay, so when I was doing driveway sealing, I was knocking on doors. When I started heating and
right, and when I was doing it,
So when I was doing community service, when I was working in the New York City mayor.
So when I was doing the cheesecake, I was trying to figure out if.
only in retrospect, I think, when I was doing the audiobook.
Saying it a year ago, it was actually radical, and I'm pretty sure no one else was saying it, a year ago. But
when I was saying, you are not going to reduce.
Every day when I was saying, you guys get to choose.
Much like DA, whoever DA was a few minutes ago, when I was saying, you weren't mishired, and you didn't say that.
And then at the end, I remember when I was saying goodbye to the.
And that, it's when I was saying, I trust people who go to war, people who leave.
Have this talk, and originally, when I was saying at the beginning,
experience, even before, and I was saying, some people, they just want to create something. For some people, it's because.
When I was saying Toys R Us was out of business, people.
When I was saying that you should accompany that with other digital assets,
When I was saying those things, it had already happened.
So when I was saying to you before that mismatched bases.
And so when I was saying that I wanted to be a writer, my mother and grandmother didn't understand that.